Well, as of last week, we assembled our Jesus League. I hope all of you have decided to join our team. But this week, we have some special superheroes.
Yes, we do.
Can any of you name that superhero? Moms!
Yes!
They are amazing superheroes. And we first want to say Happy Mother's Day. We hope that you are enjoying your day with your family and that you get all the love, laughs, and relaxation that you can get today.
Yes.
And to add to that, Remnant Kids wants to kind of spoil one of our superhero moms. You're like, what? How can we do that? Well, your kid, with the help of, let's say, dad or another adult or an older sibling, not with mom, go to our Remnant Kids Facebook page by 6 o'clock today and tell us why your mom is a superhero. And then we're going to come together and we're going to pick one mom to receive DoorDash. What mom doesn't want to not have to cook on Mother's Day?
Me.
So, go to Remnant Kids Facebook on this video and tell us why your mom
is a superhero.
Now, we're going to move right on into our adventures for today. Some of you got a mission pack last week. I hope you were excited and did all your activities and games and enjoyed your snacks. But one of the things we talked about last week was Flat Jesus. Now, I will tell you, last week Flat Jesus wasn't in our video.
No.
But he is here today.
Yes.
So, your challenge is to find Flat Jesus. When you find Flat Jesus, put in the comments where he is. We will leave him in that spot until he is found. So if nobody finds him this week, he's going to stay there until next week. So, find Flat Jesus. Now listen, I know that's fun, but pay attention to the lesson too. That's the most important part.
Yes.
Okay? Are you ready to learn about some superheroes?
I am. Are you?
I am. I'm
Awesome.
super excited.
So last week we assembled our Jesus League, and we got the call that for the Great Commission that we go out and we share Jesus with everyone, and we can do it anywhere. And this week we're going to talk about one of the first original members of the Jesus League. And this member
Is he the real OG?
he is one of the real OGs.
What does that mean?
The OG means the original gangsta, and that's the original gangsta of the Jesus League.
Was,
well, we're going to get there. But first I want to talk about the characteristic that this person had.
okay.
So the characteristic that this person had was being bold. Now what does that mean, to be bold? Does it mean like being bigger than something or standing out more? Now, when we use the bold font on our computer, it makes the font bigger and darker. So those are some things that are bold, kind of like barbecue sauce. Now, what makes barbecue sauce? Is it a stronger flavor than the original? I really doubt that it means more courageous than the original when we're talking about barbecue sauce. But our Jesus League member that we're talking about today, that's exactly the characteristic that we're talking about, was being courageous, having courage. And today we are talking about, see if you can guess it, but if you can, put it in the comment. Somebody that was bold. And that person...
Was it one of Jesus' disciples?
It is one of Jesus' disciples.
So you've narrowed down the whole Bible to 12.
Yeah. So
12
superheroes. Right. And I'll give you a couple more clues. It was one of Jesus' very good friends, and he was a regular man before accepting this call from Jesus, and he was also a fisherman. Whoa.
So he was a fisherman.
Yep. One of the disciples.
One of the disciples.
Yes.
Close to Jesus.
Close to Jesus.
Just an ordinary man, but he was bold?
Yes. He was an ordinary man until he put his faith in Jesus.
Oh.
And then that gave him the power to be bold. Now, he didn't have any special abilities or special powers before accepting his call from Jesus. He was kind of like Peter Parker, Spider-Man. He was just a regular guy until Peter Parker was just a regular guy.
And he cast nets.
Yes.
Like Spider-Man.
I didn't even put that one together. But yeah, until he got Peter Parker, not Parker, got bit by the radioactive spider that made him Superman. Just like that, Peter was a regular guy until he put his faith in Jesus, and that gave him his superpowers. Now, Peter always liked to speak up, and sometimes it got him into trouble. I know for me, sometimes when I've spoke up, it's got me into trouble. How about you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I have had to learn to control what I'm going to say. And I tell everybody all the time, think before you speak.
Right.
Because it's something I had to learn to do because it got me in trouble for not thinking beforehand.
I understand. And sometimes it can still be a struggle.
Yes.
And I feel that you guys might have struggled with that too. That sometimes we say things that we shouldn't and speak up in the wrong way.
Sometimes it wasn't what I was saying, but how I said it is what got me in trouble.
Right.
So just knowing how and what I'm saying, being very aware.
Yes.
Because sometimes my content, what I was saying, the words I was using,
there was nothing wrong with them.
Nothing wrong with them.
Right.
But it was the way that I said them.
Right, your attitude.
Yes, that mattered.
Yes. Some of you kids, I know, got a little bit of attitude, got a little bit of sass, and that's all right. But we need to use it in the right way and in the right manner. And sometimes when we speak up, it can lead to extraordinary things happening, especially if we're being led by Jesus.
So good.
It's really good. It's, all these lessons that we've been talking about, that's the thing that we point to, is the Great Commission, accepting Jesus as our Lord and Savior, and having a relationship with Him. And Peter was one of Jesus' closest friends. He had a great relationship with Him. But Peter still struggles. Now, the reading that we're doing this week, we're going to let you guys read it at home again like we've been doing, but it's Matthew chapter 14, verse 22 through 33.
I hope you're all reading those verses. Because if you're not, it's probably really hard to do our reviews.
Yes, it would be really hard to do the reviews.
So make sure you're reading them.
And they're great stories. They're some of the most, or the most, not some of the most incredible stories come straight from the Bible. It's really incredible. Action,
drama,
all kinds
love,
romance,
all kinds of
fights.
stories.
Yes.
Betrayal. Seriously.
Everything.
Whatever your niche is, whatever kind of movie you like, whatever genre of movie that you like, you can find it in the Bible.
You really can. It has the greatest stories of all time. Mm-hmm. Today we're going to talk, the story that we're going to talk about with Peter was the most amazing thing that he did. And what happened was, he was out on a boat with some of the other disciples, and Jesus went up into the mountain and was praying, and a storm came while they were out on the boat. And the disciples were in trouble. They were getting scared. The waves were bashing around, the wind was whipping, and they were afraid. And then they saw a man walking on water. Yeah, can you believe that? They saw a man walking on water. They literally thought it was a ghost. Imagine seeing that. I probably would think it was a ghost too. But it wasn't. It was Jesus.
Real man.
A real man. Jesus. He was walking out on the water to go and save them. To bring calm. And Jesus said to them, "Be brave. It is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter, in his boldness, asked Jesus, he spoke up and he asked Jesus, "Jesus, call me to you." And Peter went out on the water and was walking on water with Jesus. And
how many of you would have the courage to do that? Better yet, how many of you would have the faith to do that?
Right. To be honest, I think I might struggle a little bit. That's scary.
Me too.
A storm all around us and waves crashing and wind whipping, walking out on water. That would just be crazy. But Peter did it. In his courage, he was being bold. He stepped out and he walked on water. And then he started to focus on the waves. Do you know what happened when he started to focus on the waves?
Well, I think if it was me, I'd be trying to get back to the boat if I was focusing on the waves and not the person that I was supposed to be trusting.
Right. And what happened with Peter is when he was focusing on the waves, he started to sink. And Jesus said to him, "You of little faith." And then he stopped sinking. He focused on Jesus and he was walking on water again. It's crazy.
Stories of the Bible. Peter walks on water. This is Peter.
Hey-o! Whoop.
Peter was a fisherman who was called by Jesus.
Hey!
Peter saw the many miracles of Jesus.
Whoa!
And he heard all his teachings. Great crowds followed Jesus wherever he went. One day after Jesus had done a great miracle, he sent the disciples in a boat across the lake while he stayed and sent the people home.
See ya! Hey, Jesus!
After sending them home, Jesus went up into the hills by himself to pray. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!"
Hold on there.
But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." So Jesus said, "Yes, come." So Peter went over the side of the boat.
Whoa! You're awesome!
And walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves,
Whoa!
he was terrified and began to sink.
Baby, help me!
"Save me, Lord!" he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. Jesus said, "You have so little faith. Why did you doubt me?" When they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciples worshiped him and said, "You really are the Son of God."
When we focus on Jesus, we can get through anything. We have to put our faith and our trust in Jesus and focus on him. Now, the world will try and distract us with waves. There's different waves that will come across us in the world that try to distract us and make us sink. If we take our focus off Jesus, then that's what will happen.
Right now, there's a big wave.
Yeah,
And
a huge distraction.
huge distraction, the coronavirus, which, like I've said multiple times to my kids this week alone, is that everybody in this world is being affected by this virus, one way or another.
Yes.
I didn't choose to become a homeschool teacher overnight.
Right.
I don't think many moms did.
No.
I don't think that the kids chose to have to stay at home and not see their friends and not get to have the activities. It's all right. Have the activities and the milestones that they should have gotten this year. Our fifth graders, our eighth graders, and our seniors, you know, they're missing out on so much. But one of the things like that I've said to my kids is, you know, when these waves, when we're saying waves, it's things that typically disrupt our normal everyday life, and it's typically not for the better.
Right.
These waves.
Something that tries to knock us down.
Right. But I refer to them as like a deck of cards.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we've all been dealt this hand, these cards in our hand. We've all been dealt them.
Yes.
It might not be the hand that we wanted,
Right.
but we get to choose how we play them.
When you're dealt a hard hand, or maybe a hand that looks, a card game hand that looks like it may not be a winning card game hand, is it still possible to win? Absolutely. You can still win that with that hand. It just depends on how you play your cards.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. It's all about your character and how you
Yeah.
play them. Yep.
And one of the best ways to grow your character is to give your life to Jesus and let the Holy Spirit just radically change you in the best possible way, because
Yeah.
God knows what's best for us. He knows, and He's going to point us in the right direction every time. We may not know or understand really, but every time He'll point us in the right direction. So Jesus wants us to stay focused on Him and become a witness for Him, to go out and be bold and to speak up and to stand out and to be strong and keep our eyes on Jesus. And when we do that, God can do amazing things through us, just like He did through Peter and Jesus. He's capable of doing amazing things through anyone when we put our faith and hope and trust and love in Him. He'll point us in the right direction every single time.
So good. I think it's important to remember that when you're taken on the characteristic trait of being bold, that, like Miss Cassandra said, is that sometimes it's not always about being the loudest or the biggest, or
Because those are bold characteristics.
they are bold characteristics, but sometimes you can be more bold by not saying anything at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be more bold by using a soft tone when you're speaking than using a harsh tone.
That's good.
And not only is it bold, but more times than not, it's more effective.
yeah.
And so being bold isn't always about being the biggest. Peter was just an ordinary fisherman.
right, a
He
regular
wasn't,
guy.
he wasn't someone that was standing out, or like in today's world, you know, you think of celebrities.
Right.
And if you say a celebrity's name, like I'm sure a lot of kids would know Sav and Cole. They know who those people are. But what I like about Sav and Cole is that they make a bold statement in everyday life, living out everyday life, but they let it be known that they stand on their faith in that moment.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's not always like, hey, I'm a Jesus freak!
Right.
But it's just their everyday, their demeanor, the way they carry themselves, the way they interact with other people, the kindness that they show.
Yeah.
And so sometimes being bold is just being who you are and who God created you to be. Peter didn't change who he was per se, like he didn't change his body, and he was still used as a fisherman.
Yeah.
But he became bold for Jesus in the attributes that he already had, in his talents that he already had. The difference is that now he was using them to further the kingdom of God, which is what the whole Great Commission is about.
That's
Using
right.
our gifts and our talents in a bold way to further the kingdom of God.
That's right. It's awesome. And sometimes we will still struggle. Like, if you remember our lesson before, when we were doing our experiments, we talked about Peter. And when we talked about Peter then, it wasn't in a bold way. And it was really sad. And Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Now, this is the same guy. And the reason, he denied Jesus is because he focused on the crowd before him. And he lost sight of Jesus. And he wasn't thinking about his faith and the goodness and trusting in Jesus. He was scared. He was afraid. And he denied him.
So I think like the main point that from listening to you is that in order to be bold for Jesus is to stay focused on Jesus.
That's right.
Just keep focused on him, and you can stay bold throughout everything that's going on. Whether, like we have the instance with Peter and Jesus on the water.
Yes.
And when you hear that story, most people are like, that's so awesome with Peter. But then when you hear the other story that we talked about, everybody's like, oh, Peter.
Right.
But in both instances, he lost his focus on Jesus.
He did.
And so, moral of the story, Jesus League is to stay focused on Jesus.
Yes.
Be bold in your faith.
Yes.
By staying focused on Jesus.
That's right. Keep your eyes on Jesus, and God will do amazing things through you. Our memory verse for today comes to you from Matthew chapter 14, verse 27. And it is, Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." So we could shorten it a little bit, and we'll just have the quoted part.
Let's say our 3rd through 5th graders say the whole thing.
Okay.
And our 2nd and younger just say the part that's in quote. Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid.
That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We can challenge our upperclassmen a little bit.
Yes.
I'm sure you guys can do it.
I know you can rise to the challenge.
Yes.
After all your Jesus League members.
So we talked last week about our superhero mission boxes. They got picked up last week. So excited.
So excited.
This is week 2. If you didn't sign up for them, it's okay. No big deal. Those of you that did, you're going to recognize everything in our bag right now. If you didn't and you're like, well, I wish I could do that, find the materials at home.
Yes.
Create your own. These are just ideas. So you don't have to use exactly everything we have. But,
right.
So just create from at home.
And everything that we have, it's not a special, one of a kind.
Nope.
You know, we get to make it, or the kids get to make it one of a kind, but you can alternate it out with different household items.
Yeah. So like week 2's game is called Bold Over. So it's about being bold. And we did a real simple, we got these mini cups. I think they're so cute. Mini solo cups. And you're supposed to set them up, the ball is stuck in it. Yeah. There's a ball in there. You guys see? Oh, there it is. Okay. So you're supposed to set them up like bowling pins and then bowl. So I don't care how you do it or how you want to do it. You can just set them up and, oh yeah, there's a good idea. I wouldn't have thought to do that. Do another one there and do one there. And then just bowl and see how many, see how many you can knock over. Clearly, I am not very good at this game. Just set them up, play it however you want. We're gonna get some assistance from back here. Play it however you want. Kind of a play on words, bold over. Being bold, have a little fun with that one. So if you don't have this at home, you're like, wow, I don't have those little cups. And you want them? I got them from the Dollar Tree. Go there and get them. But if you don't, use regular cups or set up some other objects and use just a regular ball and roll it at it and see how many you can knock over.
Pots and pans, or set them up awkwardly so they'll fall over. Maybe you do have a bowling kit
That would be
at
fun.
home.
Just don't use glass.
Yeah.
And make sure you have your mom's permission.
Yes.
Okay. Every week that we do snacks, we kind of do it along with our lesson. Last week, our game had to do with monkeys in a barrel.
Yes.
And so this week is all about being bold. And so you're going to have some bold Chex Mix. Here's the kicker. There's some in here that would be original. Remember we talked about being original. So let your parents know when you taste a difference in the original ones and the bold ones, okay? And then our craft for this week is for you to create your Jesus League gear. How are you gonna look like a superhero this week? So everybody that got a kit, if you don't have the kit, it's okay. Again, create your own. Have fun with it. You have 2 masks to choose from. If you did get the kit, we are asking that you use the kit. You can use other items from home, but make sure you use the supplies we gave you too. So you have 2 different masks that you can choose from. Every kid that signed up gets to choose one or the other. And then you get to create your cuffs, you know, like your superhero cuffs.
Decorate them.
Decorate them, don't just put them on. We put stuff in here for you to decorate. And then everybody got some cloth to create their cape. So make sure
There's
that
things like, sorry.
Okay, go ahead, you're good.
There's things like feathers that you can decorate with. I know there's some stickers in there, star stickers, some color them.
Some fun tapes, different colors. Some of them have different designs on them. So just create it however you want. There's also strings so that you can tie your mask on.
Oh yeah.
We want you to send me a picture. Those of you that are creating from this kit, we want you to send the picture to me. Those of you that are at home and you chose not to, go ahead and put your picture in the comments of our video. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Lots of fun.
So,
I'm really excited about this watching the kids and seeing everybody's Jesus League gear. I know that you all have creative minds, and I can't wait to see everybody's designs. It's so fun.
Speaking of your gear as a superhero, I need to see more of your Jesus League signals.
Yes.
I have some, I think I have 3 right now.
3.
So what I would like for you to do is create your signal and then take a picture of you standing in your gear in front of your signal, or maybe beside it, doing a superhero, whatever. I don't know. Have fun with it, just do it.
Yes.
Just do it. Our review is gonna be in the comments again. It's kind of weird for us to read it all and for you guys to try to hear it when we have to put it in there anyway. So
yes. This week it'll be fill in the blank, but it'll be on the comments.
So some of you, like us, are like, wow, this whole not going to church in the building has lasted a lot longer than we thought it was going to.
Yes.
And that's okay. Again, we're gonna make the best of what we've been dealt. So we have tried to make it fun for everybody and stay connected and interactive with you guys. And we've been talking a lot about our box and how you can get your name put in that box for a drawing. Well, initially we were like, when we come back in 3 weeks, we're gonna draw for that. Well, we're still not back. So we decided, hey, why not go ahead and do a drawing?
Yeah.
Everybody excited about that? I can't hear you.
A little bit louder.
So we decided to do a drawing today. Before I do the drawing and I tell you who our winners are, remember, you can get entered in the drawing by doing your craft, by doing your game, by doing your review. You get 2 entries for saying the memory verse. 2 entries for saying the memory verse. Make sure you're doing that, putting it in the comments. So today we have some kiddos that we drew from up here in our lovely bucket. Again, lots of names. It is getting so full. I know Soraya last week, when she saw it, got super excited.
Yes.
And she was like, oh my goodness, look how full it is. So this week, we are going to draw from the bucket. And these names won't be put back in, but that doesn't mean that they're not still in there. So they could win again next week, but we take one of their entries out. These kiddos will receive DoorDash today.
Yes.
Yay! So exciting. So, do you want to know who won?
I want to know who won.
Let's see. Whoop, whoop. Let's see who won. We have 3 winners. We have so many names. We were going to do 1, and then we're like, let's do 2, and then we're like, there's so many, let's do 3. So,
I think 3's a good number.
And then we're going to do another drawing next week, so make sure you're putting your entries in so you have more of a chance to win next week too. It might not be DoorDash next week, but it's going to be something. Okay, First winner goes to Gavin. Yay! Gavin, get ready. You're going to have DoorDash coming to your door today. You want to draw the next one?
I'll draw the next one. Let's
Awesome.
see. We got Zion.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Zion, you're going to be getting some DoorDash. Last one. Who do we have? Who do we have? We have Soraya.
Yay!
How exciting. Guys, get ready. You're going to get some DoorDash for being amazing Jesus League superheroes.
Yes.
Remember,
Do the activities,
Yes.
share them on Facebook under this video, and get
Yes.
more entries in so that you can win next.
never know what it's going to be.
Never know.
I think next week I might do the big prize that I had talked about.
I like that. big
Because
prize.
I do too. Because it was supposed to be used in 3 weeks. Since it hasn't, might as well use it, right?
That's
so,
right.
if you're
Big prize
excited,
next week.
put your names in the drawing. How do you do it? How do you do it?
We do it commenting on Facebook. Your craft, your game, your memory verse. If you're dancing and doing the moves with the worship before this video, then you could get an entry for that. Or if you're out and you're doing your make it stick with your family, there's a make it stick in here.
Oh, and don't forget Flat Jesus.
Oh yeah, and Flat Jesus. Find Flat Jesus.
Find Flat Jesus in here. But I was also talking about
Take it with you.
taking
Yeah.
your Flat Jesus with you. As a superhero, we should be taking Jesus with us everywhere we go.
And
Take
now-
a picture. Put it in the comments.
Yes, we can do it figuratively in our heart everywhere, but now we get to do it physically with Flat Jesus.
Yep.
That's so cool. So those are the ways that you get entries. We love you guys.
Love you so much.
We miss you guys. We hope you have a great week.
Take care of your mamas today. Love on them. Make them
Yes.
feel extra, extra special.
Tell
And
us why they're so
yes, don't forget in the comments to let us know why your mama is the best superhero. Or what her superhero talent is.
super. Yes.
Let us know. And then one super mama is going to get DoorDash sent to her house for the entire family.
By 6 o'clock.
You have to have submitted by 6 o'clock. If it's not submitted by 6, I'm sorry. But we do love you.
Yes. Love you.
See you next week.
Miss you.